Hello, everybody. Are we live and coming through for you all tonight on this very exciting evening? It's a little bit, it's something that we've been working towards for quite a while, and it certainly comes with a lot of excitement that we get to join you guys tonight. It's awesome to see so many of you clicking on and joining us. Before I go any further, can everybody hear Karen? Make sure that's coming through loud and clear. Let us know on both fronts whether you can hear us.
Yes. Hey, Jono, thanks so much. I'm really excited to be here, and I know this is something we have been working on for quite a while. So I can see I'm getting the green light. Everything does seem to be working, which is great. So I'll hand it back to you.
Awesome. Cool. So thank you very much, everybody, first of all, for joining us on what is really a really special evening for Wealth Mentor, something that is very dear to both myself and Karen, because we've been working really hard at being able to shift and be able to create an opportunity for so many people to get out there and just change their positions, change people around them, be able to become the best version of yourselves. So many really cool elements that have been brought in, and I guess tonight being able to share with these with you are really, really exciting. Now, I know it's obviously a little bit now you're wondering what have we got in store for this week. Though we'll take you through exactly what we do have in store for you this week. We'll be very a lot of effort and time is going into preparing for this week. But before I do go any further, we need to make sure that you guys actually know how to handle everything and how it all works from the standpoint of the page that we've created and where you can actually view this video. So I'll hand over to Kyron and he can talk you guys through a little bit of details as to how that works, and then we can rip into it.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Jono. I'm just going to share my screen for 1 second. And that is because the way we actually have this structured is that right now we have people watching on two sides. We're well aware of you. Some of you got the notification and you're watching on YouTube, but this is where all the exciting stuff is happening. So as you can see, you can come onto this landing page. Hey, look, there's me. Hey, Mom, I'm famous. I'm on TV. I'll just pause that right. Oh, what a time to pause, Jono, always with his eyes closed. But this is the key thing right here, right? This is where the conversation is really happening. So I've already jumped in. Hey, I'm here from Auckland. Jono's jumped in just a little while ago too. So we'd love for you to get in here. If you are on this page, jump in here and let us know where you're tuning in from. This chat is going to remain here for the entire time. So this is the landing page that we're using for the entire week. So as you can see, as we come down, as we do tomorrow, there's nothing to show yet, but you'll be able to come, just click on that same link and you can watch all of the episodes, all of the week's recordings all in one place. The other thing is you can start to get to know a little bit about all of us. Obviously, right now, it's probably a little bit confusing. What is the partner faculty? What is the mentor faculty? But that's what we're going to be sharing with you tonight. You can get in, learn a little bit more about the partners, see who the mentors are. And the main thing here is you probably don't need this right now. But for those of you who want to know more about how you might be able to work with a particular partner, then you can click on here and talk with one of our wealth wizards. The wealth wizards are trained in order to be able to help get an understanding of what your wealth journey is, where you're trying to go, what resources you have, and how you might want to do that. And then they'll help you figure out who might be the best partner or what might be the best program in order for you to achieve that. So feel free to jump in there and then book a call, especially throughout this week as you learn some of the different strategies. Because I know it can get a little bit confusing sometimes, but that's why they're there. They are those experts. I'm also just going to chuck that link into YouTube for anyone who is watching on YouTube, but all the fun is going to be happening on this landing page. Anyway, back to you, Jono.
Awesome, great explanation. Well done. So, like I said before, a lot of work has gone into understanding or being able to figure out a way that we can make you could almost say wealth accessible to all. I guess you could almost say, because what we've figured out over the last couple of years is that things have changed. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but the last couple of years, things have changed in many different facets. And what we've noticed is that we needed to, as a business, make sure that we adjust and we grow with the times and we become the best version of ourselves. And that's something we talk a lot about for our students. So to give you a little bit of history of Wealth Mentor, Wealth Mentor has been around for well over a decade, and we've been fortunate enough to educate thousands of people, mainly in the property space, and being able to change so many people's lives. It really is something it's quite special to see all the amazing success stories and to hear success stories. I mean, you talk to people all the time, and you're trying to cut me out, Karen. You hear about the amazing stories. For example, I was having a chat to Torb this week, and for some of you might have heard that name before. We mentioned on his webinars, on some of our webinars, and just having a chat to him. He's like, "Yeah, I'm just taking some time off. I'm going to head over to Sweden, go catch up on family. My portfolio's done this since grown another amount. He's got all his cash flow coming in. Just willing to take the time to be able to cruise off and check out, catch up with his daughter. And then he's come over to New Zealand for some fly fishing. But there's so many of these amazing stories out there. And the funny thing is, I'm hearing about them more and more as we are engaging and really making sure that our network and our community is working together to again become the best versions. Now, Kyron, who is my co-host tonight, was actually became a part of the Wealth Mentor team a little bit sooner than me. He actually went through the program and got his investing going quite early, and has come back now since I have been involved, and we've been able to evolve the business. Now, my involvement has been quite an interesting one, and it's certainly been, I guess, not quite the ordinary journey for many of our students. My journey started with turning up to learn more about property after attending a reality TV show that kind of got me a little bit excited about property. I figured out I'd go check out these guys' Wealth Mentor, and learned about property and got a good understanding as for what it is to become a property investor. The journey then grew and got into investing. Did pretty well with my investing, and then got the honor of coming back and being a mentor for Wealth Mentor, which included speaking at the events and working with some of our amazing students. And that's a huge honor. For me, it was then like, okay, well, what's next? I want to keep growing. I want to keep becoming the best version. I want to keep reaching for the stars. And I had a real passion for what this company does, because it has improved and changed and impacted on so many people's lives, not only their lives, but their families' lives, the generations to come. So for me, it was like, there's a no-brainer. I want to in on this business. So I first bought my shareholding, and then, we're coming up a year. 31st of March this year will be a year since I have taken over Wealth Mentor, and it's been a fun ride. Now, part of that ride was we figured out that we had to make a shift, and I'll never forget sitting in the room. It's actually the room that has now become our studio since we've evolved, sitting down with our team, with our business mentor, having a discussion about what we wanted to do with this business. And something came forward which completely changed the way that we approached everything. And that there is the phrase, making wealth accessible to all. As soon as that phrase came forward within a team meeting, as we were planning, we knew that we had an opportunity, and we had the obligation to get out there and make wealth accessible to everybody. So then it was about how we could do this. And that's kind of how we've ended up with the evolution, I guess, of the business model, into becoming this opportunity, this place where so many people can both become the educators or the educated in different elements. Now, I certainly can't take the credit for this one, because the team around us was so big, such a big part of this evolution and coming up with the ideas and the concepts. And probably none more so than Kyron, who is actually joining me tonight. And Kyron, first of all, before we do go any further, a massive thank you for your effort on the shift towards 2.0. I know that it's something that you really enjoyed, and you wear many hats within Wealth Mentor. But I know that the fact that you have come forward and worked on this concept, because for you it's a matter of essentially making wealth accessible and changing so many people's lives. Is that kind of where it feels like for you?
I think, well, one, wearing many hats is an understatement. But I feel like we're all like that at the moment. But I think you're absolutely key, right? There's almost this perfect storm, or I want to say perfect opportunity. You had taken over shareholdings. You know, we're going through COVID. There have been a lot of changes within the property space, and we're all sitting there and we're like, what do we want Wealth Mentor to be? And this is probably the first time, at least in my experience with Wealth Mentor, where we've actually stopped down and taken the minute to say, what do we actually want this company to represent? What do we want to make the mission of this company? And as a collective, we all spoke, about ourselves, right? You've shared your journey. I've shared my journey over the years. Every single person we've had has come through and they've all shared their journey. And the one thing every single person has in common is no one comes from money, right? Now, I'm not saying everyone was dirt broke, but I'm saying no one came where they was fed with the silver spoon and where they had access to multi-millions of dollars. So what was most interesting is that the minute we all learnt how to invest in property, the minute we all learnt, I think, how to shift from a left-hand side of the quadrant to the right-hand side of the quadrant when we talk about Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, it just completely changed our lives. And the question was, how can we change more people's lives, really? And it ultimately came up to that concept, making wealth accessible to all. And the minute, I can't even remember who said it, right? But it's not important. It was just everybody was like, yes, yes, that is what it was. So if that relates to you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And Jono, I've just been checking in the comments, and we've got a lot of people here. We've got Stephen from Perth. He just wanted to check that show you were talking about. Was that the one where you left the hammer in the wall?
That's exactly right. And I think this is a point where we can all learn that even if you are stupid enough to leave a hammer in the wall on a reality TV show in front of the whole country, you can still become a property investor or financially free and create wealth. There's a lesson.
So you're saying you don't even
in
need to be that smart to do it, right?
I did it. You did it.
Yeah. Hey, I've never left a hammer in the wall. I've never been silly enough to try swing one. So we've got lots of people in the chat, but yeah, let me know, how does that resonate with you when we talk about making wealth accessible to all? I always feel, Jono, that a company should have a purpose. A company should be trying to solve the problem. And one of the biggest problems that I see in the world, and I know you see in the world at the moment, is the rising wealth gap, the gap between the haves and the have-nots. In the West, we're seeing the erosion of the middle class. Even now, a year after we sat down, we had that conversation, we're now seeing the worst inflation we've ever seen inside 30-ish years. I mean, basically mine and yours entire lives. So I know that actually owning a company, designing a company, redesigning the company in order to take on a massive problem such as the wealth gap is no easy feat, right? But you stood up to the task. We all stood up to the task, and we're like, hey, let's see what we can do. And my question for you, Jono, would be, how does one do that? How does one take on such a massive problem? Or how do you think we can do it?
Yeah, I think before I rip into that question, I think the element was that being able to take an idea or a concept really came down to us being able to surround ourselves with the right people. And network comes down to a really important element, because to be able to grow and to be able to, we call ourselves a restart, is essentially where we've gone with this. We're restarting where we're at. To be able to do that and to restart and to have such huge goals, it was a matter of making sure that we surround ourselves with the right people. And we've been very fortunate to have so many exceptional individuals. We're not going to go through and name everybody just yet, around us as a team to be able to evolve. And I think that was obviously a big part of it. But I think the key element for me always, and I know that the team backs me up on this and is a big part of their thought process as well, is that if you are able to impact people's lives and make an impact on many people's lives, then the ripple effect back to you is just a natural thing that happens, and it's not about that for us. It's about the fact that we are able to make this huge impact for so many people. I mean, something that comes to mind straight away is the impact that we were able to make with all the summits this year, and the huge impact with the donations to. They're not coming to mind right now, but the multiple charities around the world that we were able to make donations to. We have got those stats somewhere that would be actually really cool to share. The massive changes that we're making, and this probably
That
comes
would be
back down
cool
to
to share, hey?
Have you got it? You'd be able to pull that up while
Yeah,
I
of
was talking.
course.
Everything.
That's all right. Let me just quickly share the screen, and I'll actually show you. Here we go. I'll actually show you how this works, hey team. So we have a relationship, or which tab is it? Is that one? Yes, we are. So we have a relationship or a partnership with this company, B1G1, Buy One, Give One, which is all about business for good. And so as you can see, last year we've donated you've donated, because it hasn't been us, it's all been through you legends, upgrading for the Tickets for Good through the summit. So over just under 1,000 US. But the main thing here is the different projects that we were able to give. And you can actually see the results or the direct impact. So off the back of the Monopoly Summit, each person was provided with 30 days of housing. So we gave over 330 days of housing to people in Vietnam. We've given over 2,460 days of housing to disadvantaged families in the Philippines. We've donated over 5,000 bricks towards school facilities in Cambodia, and 3,120 days of literacy education to Dalit girls in India, and that was off the back of the Wealthy Wonder Woman. We can also come over and see when we start talking about impact. One of my favorite things is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So we can see right here the impacts and how we're impacting some of different sustainability goals, and how many impacts we've made all up, which is 10,910. And I think the key thing here is, each impact, it might be as small as 1 cent from a dollar point of view, right? But that 1 cent might buy one person a glass of water, or it might train one Dalit girl for 1 day, right? And that really does start to change people's lives. So when we talk about making wealth accessible to all, it's not just making wealth accessible to those who can pay the company, right? It's how do we start impacting the world as a whole, and making wealth accessible to absolutely everyone. Just by having someone actually have a roof over their head, even for 1 night, might put them in a better position in order to be able to go out and get work. Or in terms of the Dalit girls, the untouchables, actually giving them a fighting chance of, maybe even having a life one day. And I think that is where this really comes in. It's no longer just selling programs, I guess. It's knowing how everything comes back and changes our clients' lives, but as a result, the secondary impact of changing other people around the world who, really need it. And there's a saying, Jono, I have no idea who said it. If someone knows, let me know in the chat. But there's a saying, something about you, and I'm going to absolute butcher it, but it goes along the lines of, you've never really truly lived, or you've never really known generosity until you do something for someone who can never repay you. And I think, by tying it through B1G1 to many of these different charities and organizations and these secondary wealth receivers, you guys, our clients, our family, you are essentially changing people's lives, and they'll never know it was you, and they'll never be able to repay you, but you know what you've done. And yeah, let's leave it there before I start tearing up.
Yeah, thank you, Colin. Appreciate that. And well found. Very good. That wasn't planned at all, was it? So I know that everybody's quite excited to kind of hear the elements that we're going to talk about as to how we are shifting the model. And don't worry, we are going to get to that really shortly. Karen's going to walk you through the website as well and explain to you exactly how you can get all the information and all the knowledge that you need in order to make sure that we make that shift. But Karen, before we do go any further, I want you to have a talk, because I know that you do love having a little bit of a talk. But your involvement coming in, because this is my business, but you've obviously had a huge involvement in it. What has it been like actually going through that process, as essentially coming in as a contractor to a degree, but also very much involved in seeing the whole thing from start to where we're at now? And what's your understanding of it, or how would you verbalize it?
The change.
Yeah.
The biggest change is culture. And the reason I say that is I've been with Wealth Mentor through 2 very distinct periods, and I'd say there's a third one where I missed out on. And that was sort of when you came in, and so that there's been about 3 distinct periods that I know of in my time. And to put this in perspective, I did my mentorship in 2013, right? And the culture throughout it has constantly changed, but I think this is the first time there's been an active focus on the culture, a focus on the team, and not just the team, but the wider community. It hasn't been about our egos as mentors or as presenters or as directors of the company, just trying to get people to like us, or just standing up and trying to make sales. It's a real culture of family, and it's a real culture of how do we actually change people's lives? How do we give them the tools, the knowledge, the resources, and most importantly, the education, in order to change their life for good? Not even change their lives. A term we use all the time is intergenerational wealth. And I think all of that starts with education.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the education, or the understanding, or the where people feel like wealth actually is to them as individuals, because that's something as well that we've identified. Is we've made this concept of, okay, everything is about creating wealth for everybody, but wealth is such a unique term that means different things to every single person. Like, but even between yourself and myself, we're working alongside each other with this big goal, but our concepts of wealth are different. And actually, let's take this moment while we're actually talking about this, guys. Jump in the chat, and what does wealth mean to you? I mean, I know that if you've watched any of my coffee catch-ups, it's a question I'll ask every single one of my guests, but that whole concept is so unique. And once you understand what that wealth means to you as an individual, then you can start to put the building blocks, or the process in place to create that wealth. And what we're looking at doing is being able to marry the whole lot up to be able to create a pathway that you can create that wealth for you as an individual. Would that be a fair assumption?
I'd say so. And I've just been quickly checking the chat, and Teresa's come to my aid. It was John Bunyan. You have not lived today until you have done something for someone who can never repay you. So thanks to that, Teresa. But yeah, I'd absolutely agree. And I think I mean, for me, words and names are really important, right? And just having the name Wealth Mentor, that wealth part is so key. And yet it means so much. It could, like you say, it can mean so many different things, so many different people.
Absolutely.
And that's where essentially, as I guess we go into launching or sharing. And to be honest, guys, for those of you who have been on any of the webinars for the last year, this isn't going to be a huge surprise. We've been telling you it's coming. We're just now doing the celebrations, right? And like cementing it in place. But I mean, wealth. Many of our network and many of our family taking a much more holistic approach to wealth as well. From the health side, it's all good having a ton of money, but if you don't have your health, well, good luck being fat, overweight, dying of whatever. But at least your pocket's full, right? I mean, That doesn't sound like fun to me.
No.
Wealth should be about affording to eat well, eat the good. I mean, that's my opinion, right? We talk about time a lot, and then this is where it gets really contradictory, right? Because you and I both have our time freedom, and yet we almost give that up in order to come back, contract, work within the company, help clients and stuff too, right? So it I think wealth means different things to you on your journey, and
Mm,
I talk about the wealth ladder. um but I really think wealth is a journey that you're going in and out of what's important to you. Sometimes money's important, sometimes time's important, sometimes health, sometimes family. I mean, everything's always a little bit important at one time at the same time, but sometimes the
mm,
focus changes. And that's where I find it most interesting. I think there's a huge difference between wealthy and rich. In fact, I just saw a really good post today, and it talks about how wealth is about time, wealth is about choices, wealth is about freedom, um, wealth is about family and that side of things. But if you think that wealth is about Gucci and Chanel and Lambos and all that, then you're never going to be wealthy. You might look rich. And the best photo I've ever seen, Jono, there's a photo of Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett, right? And you look at them, there's no Rolexes, no nothing, right? I mean, Mark Zuckerberg wears the same clothes every single day. Three
yep.
guys who probably almost trillionaire, no, not quite, half trillionaires between them all. Elon Musk, nothing. And that's because they're wealthy, they're not rich.
So I think we're getting close to needing to share the website. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the faculty, the team that we got amongst us, the team of mentors. We call them the faculty, the mentors, the partners. They got all sorts of names, but essentially it's the network that we are surrounded with and around that are part of this whole journey and being able to change perceptions of wealth or create wealth, no matter who you are. How cool has it been able to work with the different people who just want to get out there and educate and change people's lives, and the huge energy and effort they put in? I mean, all the blogs that have gone on the website, and we've
I
got a
think you're
whole lot
jumping
coming
ahead,
up.
Jono.
I'm getting
We
excited.
we haven't actually said what the business model is, or
All
what the evolution is.
right, you take it. I'm too excited. You go.
You are too excited. So I know you've got a quote you absolutely love. You either evolve or you dissolve, right?
It's by Asha.
So Wealth Mentor is now completely evolved. And in those early days, we started by saying, well, if our goal is to make wealth accessible to all, then first off, the actual mentorship by itself being our only product doesn't cut it. And so over the last year, we have introduced new products. We've run Accelerate Me, we've brought in the summits, we've done some developer stuff, which we'll touch on all in a minute, right? And those were sort of tests. But one thing we really realized is how each of the different mentors, and then even people within the network had this amazing skill set. They had their own areas of knowledge. And even us mentors were sitting there going like, whoa, 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 hey, Helen, can you teach me about this or tell me more about this? Or, hey, Belinda, can, let me know about this. And as people also created their wealth through property, they started looking into other things. And we'd be sitting there and we'd be having conversations as, oh, who's been investing in crypto? What are you doing? Or who's been investing in shares? Or did you get in on this? Right. And we're like, well, first off, if we're having these conversations, then surely the students are having conversations too, right? And then second off, if we have this much talent and knowledge within our, not just the mentors, but within the immediate community, then who else is out there who is really successful, who knows a lot about, some sort of wealth creation strategy, and they just don't know how to package that up. They don't know how to turn their knowledge into a product or into a way of teaching it. And it's essentially an educational product in order to share that knowledge with everybody else. So I guess as we start talking about the business model, it's growing from just property and just the mentorship into what I like to now consider an entire financial literacy university, where we're now bringing on an entire partner faculty and mentor faculty in order to start teaching a whole range of different strategies, a whole range of different asset classes, and even just better ways, different ways of enhancing your wealth, thinking differently, and actually achieving your goals. Would I be right in saying that, Jono?
I think you pretty much nailed it, and my excitement got the better of me, and well stepped in and covered that off. But it certainly has been, a really, it's fun seeing it evolve. It's been a lot of work seeing it evolve as well. But at the end of the day, it's been able to, I guess, use this amazing network that we've got and being able to make sure that the network can feed off each other and we can all grow. And we can learn things from everybody. And at the end of the day, if we're all growing, if those around you are growing, then you're going to be growing as well. You ready to share yet? You look like you're getting it going.
I am, and then I was like, oh, you know what? There's so much I could share right now. So should we start? Do you want to talk about the partner faculty first?
Yeah, so you'll actually get to meet many of the partners this week, during the launch, and that's super exciting to be able to bring all the different people on as we go through each different day. Obviously today you're getting to meet Kyron, and you'll actually get to meet Kyron a couple more times this week, which is really cool because he does have a couple of different hats that he'll be putting on. I'm really excited for being able to share with you guys the different people that will be part of the faculty, the mentors who are the ones creating the information for you guys to grow. When you can, Kyron, if we bring up the page of the actual mentors, that'd be really cool. We can actually show all the different faculty that are there with the different faces. Tomorrow we've got a number of the property team coming on, which is really cool. You guys will have some familiar faces for many of you. And then coming up from Wednesday, we got the legend Paul Salvi. I will go through this again for you guys. And then you'll hear from another couple of legends, which I won't just drop in just yet. Thursday's quite a cool guy, I heard, Kyron. You heard of him?
Yeah, real legend.
Yeah. And then Friday, Bella is going to be an absolute... There we go, sharing the screen now. So you guys can see there on our website, the faculty. You did get the number 2 spot up there next to me, Kyron, really cool. And there are different team members.
It's almost like I had a say in how this website got built, right?
You may feel that, yeah. All right, I'll hand over to you. Yeah, a little bit of background on how it all works on the back end with the website.
Yeah, perfect. It's not the back end, it's front end. So so essentially these, and I love this. I love how this rotates through different mentors. So as we say, we now have our new faculty, and this is under the mentors tab. And this is where we now expect all of our mentors. The term mentor is changing. You would know mentor as the one mentor that you specifically worked with, but for us it's now the faculty. It's anybody who is sharing their knowledge on that wealth creation strategy. Now we've split it into 2 types. We've got partners and we do have mentors. In essence, I'm going to stop sharing for now so that you can see my face. In essence, a partner is like the thought leader, the person who is come up with the content, who's creating the IP, has put this process together. So many of you will know that in the form of when we have taught the property investing in the past. And then the mentor is the person who's actually teaching it. So we have made it that not only can people come through, become a partner, create their own IP, create their own financial educational products, and sell them through Wealth Mentor, but we can actually have other people who don't want to do any of that, but who are really good in these strategies actually get taught or learn, or actually teach that as well. So we have created a bit of a pathway for those who are interested in becoming a partner, and I'll share a little bit about that towards the end of today. Because that's one thing we would really love, is having more people come on board as partners, as mentors, especially if you have any knowledge or any skills in any of the different investment areas, or even just different strategies, right? So let's come check out the new website, and I'll give you a walkthrough as to how we've designed it and why we've designed it this way. So first thing you're going to do is come to the landing page, the home page. And the key thing here is the Academy. Like I said, we see ourselves like a university, or like a financial education university per se. So this is where you can come in order to learn. Now, we've got free resources here. We've got past webinars, we've got articles, and very, very soon, we are going to have online courses coming through as well. So first thing I'm going to check on is free resources. Right now, free resources are only made up of articles. And you can see on the right, the differentiation. In the future, we are going to be bringing on, anything from ebooks to PDFs to calculators, anything like that. So you'll be able to find all of that here. For now, we've got the articles, right? So for example, I can come on and we can see, okay, cool. What's been happening with Justin? This is the coffee catch up that Justin did with Jono, right? So we can come in and we can watch this. This is all on YouTube. I've got it muted, so that's fine. And we can get to know a little bit more about Justin as a mentor. Now, I'm going to come back to somebody else. Scrolling down, I'm going to come to this one, for example, right? So this is a blog article. I can see it, but it's by Bella. She's written a really good article. I'm not going to read it now, but you can see we've got all her little things in here. I might want to share that. So if I'm like, hey, this is really cool, I can copy the link. And I might even go over to my Facebook and share that, right? And then I can also learn a little bit about Bella. Who is Bella? Now, you will all meet Bella properly on Friday. But in the meantime, I can do a little bit of social media stalking, right? If I really liked this article and I'm like, actually, Bella's really speaking to me, I might want to jump in and learn a little bit more about Bella, what she stands for, does she have any other content, and follow her across all social media platforms, right? So in some ways, Wealth Mentor is almost becoming its own, I wouldn't call it social media platform, but at least platform, right? So I can connect with Bella on LinkedIn. I can connect with Bella on Facebook. We're already following her, and start to get the content there. I can see we've got her website, so I might even check out a little bit about her there. Now, the other cool thing I can do, and we are constantly updating and improving this website, but I can actually come check out Bella on her full bio. So if I scroll down to Bella, I can learn more. So Bella, Bachelor of Business, Habit Change Practitioner. We've got Bella's bio here, so I can learn a little bit about that. Then we've got what upcoming events Bella is actually involved in. So as you can see, Bella's speaking on Friday. So that shows up under Bella's profile. Now, in the future, and I can tell you this because I've been working with Bella under my partnerships manager hat, Bella's going to have some webinars coming up in end of March, early April. So those will show up here. So if you like Bella's content and you're checking out Bella's profile, you can be like, cool, boom, I'm going to register for one of her webinars. The other thing is you can start to see everything she's written here. So if you like her content and you like what does wealth mean to you, well, you might want to then check out how to rethink your financial goals, or you might want to learn how Bella and her husband Barry tripled their net worth with one simple habit hack. So that's the way it essentially works. Through the way you connect with a mentor, consume their content, get to know them. And as I say, in the very near future, Bella will also be creating online courses that you'll be able to go through them and learn from Bella as well. So that's the Academy side. You can come in and you can read any of the blog posts, anything which tickles your fancy, and get to know the different mentors through that side of things. The second thing we've got is webinars. Now, we know that we run a lot of webinars. It's you probably can't catch them all. And so if you do miss any of them, they will be replayed or repurposed, or they'll be stored here. So for example, Jono recently did strategies to build your wealth in property. If you missed that, you can actually come, you can replay it right here. And catch everything you missed out on. Last week, I did one after my ultra marathon, how to set and achieve insane goals. And so I can tell you that will be up here before my presentation or my turn to speak on Thursday. So if you do miss any of them, all the replays are stored under this webinars tab. The key thing you need to know is about events. So this is where all the excitement happens, I believe. So here we've got, tonight, or this week, what we've got, everything we've got coming up essentially. So we've got Cashflow Masterclass coming up. Some of these are virtual, some of these are in person. At the moment, we've still got the pandemic very much happening here in New Zealand. So this one is going to be streamed virtually. All of these are streamed virtually. But if I'm interested in something, let's say I'm interested in Crypto Week, right? I can click on this. I can learn a little bit more about it. So this is hosted by me, but we're bringing in a whole heap of different presenters, including some big crypto companies. Price of it is free. I can learn a little bit about what I can expect. What am I going to learn? What are the different topics? What are some of the strategies I'm going to learn? Who's the presenter? It's presented by me. Who should attend? So we've got new investors, we've got dabblers, and we've got existing crypto enthusiasts. And then I can register right here for Crypto Week, right? So just enter my details, submit, and I'll be on the list and fully registered for Crypto Week. Oh, you probably didn't see that. But that just took me to a second page to register. So this is probably the key thing. What you're going to use this for most is the Academy and for events. Yeah, obviously, I'd love for you to go in and have a play. I'm not going to show you how to contact us or any of the other ones. Most of you should be, or you are subscribed, because that's how you got here today. If you're not subscribed, you found us from a Facebook post or anything, you can just hit subscribe here. You'll join our newsletter and you'll be able to get regular email updates about everything going on. And for those of you who already do have access to the portal, right now, this member sign-in just links through to the portal. However, in the future, this is where you're going to have your own dashboard in order to be able to access your own online courses and all that side of things. So this is, in essence, the start of our very own virtual digital financial education university, and these are our first faculty. So you can expect everyone to be posting new articles, starting to create online courses, and even starting to run their own programs around the different wealth creation strategies. There we go, Jono. I'll bring you back up.
Oh, thank you. Well done. That was a great explanation, and it kind of got me excited again. I think it's really it's great when you get to go see all the different personnel, how they are creating their content. Those blogs are fantastic. You can also jump on, and if you're not a reader, there is some video content there as well. And we are working really hard to have that on online course side going, and we're not too far away, so definitely keep a lookout for that one, because that will be coming your way really shortly. But absolutely, let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. Karen did a great job of explaining that. Let us know any feedback. We'd obviously love to hear any feedback about what you thought of the website and the platform. Now, what I am going to talk to you a little bit about is the schedule for the rest of the week, because I'd love for you guys to join us.
Before we jump there, sorry, Jono. I know, always interrupting, but I don't think anyone's had enough Chiron yet. In my expectation of how often people should be using the website is I'd expect you to check it at least every week, because we are constantly updating it with new blog posts and events, and at least 3 times a month or so, you should be spending a decent amount of time, especially as we get more and more faculty on board and the content starts rolling through. This should almost be, taking out 1 hour each week, to spend time consuming further learning and that side of things. But right now, as it's still building up, check it 3 times a month or so, just to see what's new and what's popped up. Anyway, carry on, Jono. I'll shut up and I'll give you the floor.
Thank you. So, like I was saying before, we are very excited about the rest of the week. We do have a lot of content to cover off this whole week, and you can come join us on this link, on this page, every single night this week. My wife is excited. She gets the lounge to herself. She doesn't have to worry about me for the whole week. But on that note, we do have some really great guests. Tomorrow, we have got all our property certified mentors. So these are the bee's knees when it comes to anything property related, and can't wait to bring them on and learn a little bit more about their journeys. Make sure we get some nuggets, some information from them, some ideas about what they're seeing, because, well, the markets are forever shifting. So definitely going to be a really, really great one on Tuesday to jump in and learn from the exceptional minds that we do have. We got Ryan joining us, we got Justin, we got Belinda, we got Therese, we got Karen, and I think I've missed some people, but they will be there. Wednesday, we're bringing on someone who is one of the biggest personalities, I think, in the property space. Not only that, but huge knowledge level. Wednesday, we're really excited to have Paul Saudi joining us, which is the Backyard Developers. Paul now has built well over 700 homes. He's doing multiple subdivisions, multiple developments on the go, and he is our resident developer. Basically anything education wise in the development space, you guys would have learned from him. If anybody has seen Paul speak, he has a big heart and just wants to be able to share his knowledge. His knowledge is exceptional, and you don't want to miss that call, that session with Paul on Wednesday, because developments is a little bit of a flavor of the months at the moment. So definitely jump on that one and get that information from Paul on Wednesday. Then Thursday, I know Karen is very much looking forward to Thursday, because Karen gets to come back again for his third visit. Karen will come in and talk around the Freedom Accelerator. I mean, Karen has just gone and run so many kilometers in the last week or so. He ran like through Queenstown mountains and all sorts of craziness. He'll talk a little bit about that. He'll talk about how he is able to set and achieve insane goals. And I've seen what he has been doing with some of the people he's been working with. It is really cool. You don't want to miss the energy and what Karen does with that out of the box thinking. Definitely want to tune in Thursday. Basically, you want to tune in the whole week. And then Friday, we showed you a little bit more about Bella, a performance coach. I love Bella. She was, for those of you that are part of our advanced students, she was on the last webinar, and I know that she knocked everybody's socks off. Everybody loved what Bella had to say. So Bella will be back, and I know she has an absolute treat lined up for you guys on Friday. So what a way to end the week. It really is an exciting week for us at Wealth Mentor. We got a whole lot going on. We'll be working all day on all the different elements coming up, and we're super excited to be able to have you guys joining us tonight. It's been a great turnout. Thank you so much, everybody, for jumping in. But make sure that you do join us for the rest of the week. But before you go, there's actually a phrase I said to Karen this morning when we did a little bit of a discussion around some of the elements we're going to talk about tonight. And his face did that little smirk change where you got the approval. And it was, in an uncertain world, we want to create certainty. And I think that we have the ability to do that through the knowledge that you can gain through our network. And that is what we are trying to bring and put forward to you guys, so you can have that certainty going forward. Because the world's a crazy place at the moment. So let's surround yourselves with a network of like-minded people that are just trying to become the best versions of themselves. If you are out there and you are on social medias, make sure you follow all of our socials. Hit the subscribe on YouTube. There's a number of you I can still see on YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Head over to Facebook. Find Jono, find Karen, find Wealth Mentor, like us, Instagram, all of them. Make sure you commit yourself to this network, because I think being a part of this growth and seeing it's only going to drag you up and take you to places where you can create that wealth that you end up deserving. Karen, do you have anything else you'd like to talk about? I know you like to talk before we let everybody go off and enjoy their Monday night.
Yeah, I love talking. I'm actually just going to bring up the holding slide in order to show people this is the picture we came up with, right? And I think this is so on point. You know, Jono, you talked about uncertainty and creating certainty, but this is so on point. Anytime that there is change, people hate change. Yet, if you asked, would you be happy if in 10 years' time your life was the same as it is today? You'd be like, hell no, right? Anytime something changes, it is an opportunity. And we have seen so much change in the last couple of years. So you can view it as bad and you can get hung up and reminisce around the good old days, or you can look for the opportunity, you can adapt, and you can you can make the most out of it. Just as Wealth Mentor provides you guys with mentors, we also have our own mentors, right? And there's one of them, Jono, who I follow, Peter Diamandis, and he says that there is going to be more wealth created in the next 10 years than the previous 100 years combined. If you think about it, that is huge. And I guess that is where the opportunity sits. Yes, there's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world right now. But if you can hold steady for all the craziness, if you can cut through all the bullshit, and you can focus on yourself and look for that opportunity and read the waves of what comes next, then there is a lot of wealth, whatever wealth means to you, to be created in the coming years, in the coming decade. And how will that change your life? And how will that change your kids' lives?
Absolutely.
With that,
I think
I'm gonna remove myself and leave you to finish up.
Awesome. I actually want to finish up with our mission statement, and this is part of what we came up with when we came up with the concept of making wealth accessible to all. At Wealth Mentor, we believe we have an opportunity to change people's perception of wealth and make it accessible for all, because people deserve more time to do what they deserve through financial freedom. Our bespoke mentoring is the best in the business and is tailor-made to our clients' own personal circumstances. The education we provide increases people's financial literacy, and in turn changes people's lives, and the creation of intergenerational wealth. I absolutely love that. That last line always gets me. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Make sure you join us every night this week. I want to see you here. Keep the comments coming in. It's been an absolutely fantastic evening. And well, there's only one way to finish off any session that we have, and that is get out there and always stay awesome. Good night, everybody.